Subcommittee 1 to order. Roll.
Good morning.
Good morning, Delegate McQuinn.
McQuinn is present.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we got a quorum.
Okay, we have three bills that are going to get struck this morning per the request of the patrons. HB 1714, Delegate Watsman, HB 1747, Delegate Willett, and HB 2404, Delegate Moorfield. Need a motion.
Move to strike the bills.
Second.
We have a motion and a second, and this needs to be a recorded vote.
Yes, sir. We're doing them together in a block. We're doing.
They're all in block.
I didn't put them in a block.
Okay, we'll do them separate, that's fine. Delegate Quinn says yes.
Yes.
Okay, gets struck 6-0. Moving on to the next bill. Do we need a motion? We've done them all three together in block for a motion, so we're in good shape there.
Okay.
It's in proper form.
Yes, it is. Okay, next up.
You want us to vote on those?
We did already.
So we're good.
We're good, yes,
So
we're
the three. Okay, thank you. Okay, first bill that we have in front of us today, Chairman Austin, HB 2381. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the committee. My bill today is the toll operator's DMV record email notification. And what 2381 does is allow when a toll operator contacts the DMV for restoration information regarding the unpaid toll invoice, that the department will provide an email address if one is available. Current provisions require a toll operator to notify a user through first-class mail. This bill simply adds email as another means of notification. DMV and VDOT have expressed no concerns with the bill, and currently private measures pertaining to restoration information remain in place. I'd ask that the committee pass the bill.
Thank you. Any questions for the patron? Anyone in the audience wants to speak to this bill?
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. David Skiles with the Vector Corporation representing Transurban. Appreciate Delegate Austin bringing this bill forward. As you all know, we often have to send out toll notice, payment notices for unpaid tolls, and this provides us with one more tool to contact individuals who have a toll invoice. So appreciate Delegate Austin bringing the bill, and hope the committee would move it forward.
Thank you. We have one more.
Oh, excuse me.
Mr. Chair, Joanne Maxwell from VDOT. VDOT supports this bill as well as a toll operator.
Thank you. Anybody wants to speak against this bill? We don't have anybody online.
No, Mr. Chair.
Sorry?
Second.
We have a motion to report in a second. People go on the board to vote, please. Delegate McQuinn.
Aye.
Okay, report's out 6-0. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, sir. Okay, next up, Delegate Bulova, HB 2340. Good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Chair. Morning, Mr. Chair and members of the subcommittee. House Bill 2340 deals with the problem of out-of-state vehicles that are garaged in Virginia. That is, the person lives here, the vehicle is parked here, but the owner fails to go ahead and properly license and register their vehicle. And so that's usually done to avoid taxes or to avoid our safety inspections, but the end result is that those who do go ahead and live here and register their cars properly wind up having to pick up the slack, or we have to go ahead and live with less safe roads. The problem is persistent across Virginia. It's particularly acute in border localities like mine. I can personally attest in my neighborhood, we got lots of plates with Maryland tags on them. And you got people who have clearly been living there for much longer than the requisite time for them to go ahead and switch that over. And so I know that's the same kind of issue in North Carolina and Tennessee and other places on the border. There's two tools that are used to deal with those situations. So the first one is a license tax on owners who don't properly display the Virginia plates. That is $100, and the second is the ability of a locality to impose an additional penalty of $250. This bill doesn't change how that is done, doesn't change the enforcement mechanisms. All it does is make sure that those penalties keep up with inflation so that it is a relevant and effective deterrent. And so the amounts haven't actually been adjusted since 2013. If you go ahead and crunch those through the CPI calculator, that 100 becomes 130, that 350 becomes 450, and so we've just increased those slightly over that in order to make sure that we account for inflation over the next couple of years. Mr. Chairman, relatively straightforward bill. Just make sure that people who are living here and garaging their cars here are actually abiding by our laws and not foisting that on the other people who are here who are obeying the law.
Okay, thank you, Delegate. Any questions for the patron? Anderson? Delegate Anderson? Okay. Anybody in the audience who wants to speak to the bill in favor?
Good morning. I'm Ross Mugler. I'm Commissioner of Revenue for the City of Hampton. I am Delegate Ward's Commissioner, but as Delegate Ward knows, and probably Delegate Bloxham and Anderson and Hampton Roads, this is a huge problem with North Carolina plates. It's plagued our city for many years. Up in Northern Virginia, the Maryland plates, Southwest Virginia dealing with Tennessee plates. This is an extra tool that really helps, and the Virginia Commission of Revenue Association supports this legislation.
Great, thank you. Question? Okay, let me let Delegate Bloxham go first.
So I guess I'm just asking how it's imposed that someone reports it or you see it. I'm just trying, or do you know that the person has a residence here and they don't have a car?
We actually have in the city of Hampton. I've been commissioner for, I guess, 31 years, and neighbors tell on neighbors all the time, and that's probably our best source. Also, when the police pull someone over, they'll look at their, they'll have a Virginia driver's license and North Carolina plates. That's always a issue. Yeah.
Delegate Anderson.
Is there anybody from the DMV here?
Certainly.
Yes, Linda Ford, Acting DMV Commissioner.
Ms. Ford, a very quick question. How do we address military people in imposing this? How do we understand if they're military or spouses of military? Does the DMV code those plates, or how does it work?
No, we do not. It's up to the locality to identify that it's a military personnel.
So if a military member were to get an assessment, and they were in the military, does that something DMV fixes, or is that a locality issue?
No, that would be a locality issue.
Okay. Maybe back to you then. How would you address that if a military personnel?
Yeah, it's a everyday thing. They just bring a copy of their LES, and we check to see what their home of record is. If their home of record is Virginia, then they're supposed to have Virginia plates. But oftentimes the LES will reflect another state.
All right, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else speak against the bill? And I know we have Paige Johnson on the call. Please go ahead.
Morning, Mr. Chairman, members of the committee. Sorry I couldn't be with you this morning. I want to announce to the world that I'm a new grandfather, and that's why I couldn't be down.
Hey, that's great.
Yeah. So, Delegate Bulova, we asked Delegate Bulova to put this in for all the reasons that Commissioner Mugler mentioned. We support this bill wholeheartedly.
Okay, thank you. Okay, last call. Last word?
Mr. Chair, I just appreciate the consideration. It's an important tool, and this is just making sure that it's continuing to be relevant and something that we can enforce.
Okay, thank you. What's the will of the body?
Move to report.
A motion to
Second.
report. We have a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay, people go to the voter board. Delegate McQuinn, you seconded it, so I'm assuming
McQuinn.
you're good.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you.
Motion carries 6-0. Thank you very much, Delegate.
Thank you very much,
Have a
Mr.
good day.
Chairman.
Okay, next up.
Next up is Delegate Bloxham, HB 1806. Do you want to go out in front? It's up to you. Go ahead.
All right. If this committee remembers, last year we tried to do away with the homemade farm tags, and it was a pretty quick and easy bill. The problem is when it was implemented, we encountered more problems than we thought. So this year we came back and tried to fix the problems. And I'll just kind of go through some of them. When DMV by code registered a vehicle and it was an individual vehicle, it then has to tell a county or a city with that vehicle registration, which triggered taxes. It triggered things that just wasn't intended in the whole farm use placard. The problem of people making homemade tags and using the farm exemption is running rampant, and that's what we're trying to solve. We're trying to make sure that farmers do not lose their exemption to have farm vehicles that they have to drive across the roads. So in the bill, we've got a couple things that solve some problems. It was interpreted by law enforcement that they would not be able to stop and get lunch on their way between fields. That's fixed in the bill. Even throwing the trash out, that's fixed in the bill. This I think will solve the problem. We also added a delayed enactment, because once it goes into effect a year from now, we will have time to, at least if there are any more issues, we can fix next session. So I'm hoping that this probably solves a problem. I know Farm Bureau and DMV State Police have worked very hard on this, and I commend them for trying to get this bill right. So with that, Mr. Chairman, I'll take questions.
Okay, we have questions for the patron from our side.
Okay, we have a substitute too. I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, there is a substitute.
Okay, we need to move the substitute. Need a motion.
I move to report with substitute.
A motion. Have a second.
Yes.
Have a second. All those in favor of moving the substitute, say aye. Aye. Delegate McQuinn, I'm assuming. Okay.
Aye.
Now the bill's in proper form.
And with that, Mr. Chairman, I think Farm Bureau and they can probably speak to it also.
Okay, so we'll open it up to the floor. Anybody want to speak to the measure?
Mr. Chairman, members of the subcommittee, Zach Jacobs with Virginia Farm Bureau. Again, really appreciate the patron and DLS and DMV's partnership on this. This really does offer up some clarifications that are much needed for our farm use placard program, and hopefully cuts down on the abuse that is happening so that our farmers can have the exemption going forward. But appreciate the support. Thank you.
Thank you.
Mr. Chairman, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Jim Riddell with the Virginia Cattlemen's Association, and we probably have the largest group of farm use tag users across the Commonwealth. And again, we support the substitute, and I want to thank Delegate Bloxham for working to support agriculture, as his father did for many years as well. We do appreciate that. And you know, the bill last year was never meant to penalize farmers. It was to kind of clean up the issue that we just talked about. And that's these changes. There are actually about 10 things in there that are changed, and which are positive and will help law enforcement as well as continues to support agriculture. We have like 12 million square miles, and you know, that farmers drive over on their farms, and so we use those farm use tags to go across the road, as you said, to go get supplies, to bring supplies back to our farms, to transport our livestock, to bring livestock to our farms. So it's quite important. So again, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman and members of the subcommittee. I'm John Jones, representing the Virginia Sheriff's Association. We strongly support this bill for all the reasons mentioned. We appreciate Delegate Bloxham bringing it forward. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Megan Ryan with the Coalition for Open Government, and we have a teeny tiny dog in this. We didn't take any position on the bill, but I did speak to Delegate Bloxham about the FOIA concerns that we had, and so this delayed enactment helps us with that, and so thank you very much.
Thank you. Anyone else to speak against? Okay. Before we take action on this bill, we need to incorporate HB 1883, which is Delegate Friedis's bill. So I need a motion to do so.
Motion to incorporate.
A motion, have a second?
Second.
Motion is second. All those in favor of incorporating HB 1883 into HB 1806, say aye. Aye. Those, okay, now the bill is ready to, for.
Mr. Chairman, do we report a substitute then?
Yes.
Because it's a.
So we need to, so with the substitute,
Yes, with the substitute.
with substitute, I need a second on that.
Move to report the substitute.
Second. Okay. All those in favor of reporting with substitute, say aye. Aye. Okay. Now, we're ready to move forward with HB 1806 with the substitute. Can we act by motion?
Move to report the substitute.
Motion is second. Okay. Please vote in the voter board. Delegate?
Yes.
Quinn. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, the bill reports 6-0. Thank you. The final bill is going to be my bill, and I'm going to pass the reins over to Delegate Bloxham to chair.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. House Bill 1661, Delegate Wiley.
Okay. Good morning. This is a vehicle documentation for licensed auto recyclers. It authorizes licensed auto recyclers to demolish a motor vehicle without obtaining a certificate of title, salvage certificate, or non-repairable certificate if such motor vehicle was purchased from an insurance company and such insurance company made a total loss payment on the motor vehicle. Current law authorizes such demolition if the subject motor vehicle is a model year that is at least 10 years older than the current model. I do need to move a substitute. There's some technical changes.
Motion to move the substitute.
Second.
All right. Substitute. It's been moved. Everybody in favor of moving the substitute, say aye. Aye. Substitution before us.
Okay. This legislation represents results of several months of discussions between DMV and LKQ, an auto recycler with facilities across the Commonwealth, to address an issue that has arisen that impedes timely destruction of some non-repairable vehicles. The overwhelming majority of vehicles which are recycled for parts are purchased at auto auctions and have a title. However, there are times when vehicles may not have a title even after total payments have been made on the car. There are a number of reasons why a car may not have a title. It could be lost, a person could be military deployment, there could be a catastrophic weather event that caused the vehicle to become non-repairable. It is estimated that about 5% of vehicles that LKQ recycles fall into this category. This legislation allows insurers or other authorized agents to deem vehicles without a title non-repairable by reporting specific data to DMV, certifying that all liens have been satisfied. DMV obtains all the details about the vehicle they need, and then the insurer or the agent could sell the vehicle to a recycler who could then strip the car for parts and recycle the unusable parts of the vehicle. There are several benefits to the Commonwealth. These problem vehicles do not sit, which can happen for hundreds of days and lose value and potentially become an environmental hazard. They are recycled in a more timely manner and more parts are made available. These vehicles could also be recycled in Virginia facilities, which I think is a great asset to our Commonwealth. This is especially important now given the supply chain challenges auto repair shops have faced in recent years. This legislation mirrors similar process in 20 other states, including Maryland and Tennessee, that allow vehicles without a title to be recycled. Welcome questions.
All right, any questions for the patron? I guess I have one, Mr. Chairman. This looks like it's a compromise or a agreement between the auctions, the salvage yard, and DMV?
Correct. There's peace in the valley, Mr. Chairman.
It's like peace in the Middle East. Okay. Is there anyone in the audience that would like to speak in favor of the bill?
Mr. Chairman, very briefly, Rob Bohannon representing LKQ. I wanted to thank Commissioner Ford and her team who worked with us to get the language right and work through existing DMV processes to get this going. These are what I've been calling the problem children. It's a small percentage of cars, but these are ones that are hard to get moving, and we know we're going to destroy them, but they have the paperwork issue. The liens have been paid. Let's get it in the right people's hands and create a process that allows that. So I want to thank everybody for their work on this.
Thank you.
Good morning. Ben Dendy, representing Copart, a global leader in online car auctions. We appreciate the chief patron, the acting commissioner of the Department of Motor Vehicles, and Rob working with us to address some of our concerns with the technical amendments, and we support the bill as it is before you.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else in the room like to speak in favor? Anyone would like to speak against the bill? All right, anyone online?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, thank you. The last word.
It's the will of the body to move this bill forward. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Our committee works on motions. All right, so we have the substitute before us. We'll go to the voting board, please.
McQuinn. McQuinn, yes.
All right, the bill reports 6-0. The chair returns back to the chair. Congratulations.
Thank you, Delegate. Any other business in front of us today? If not, the committee shall rise. Have a good day.